Cancer, 16 rounds of chemotherapy, multiple surgeries, feeling alone, feeling isolated. Those are the things that I felt while I was going through cancer. Those are the things that someone is feeling today. One Tough Cookie is here to help.
Hello, everyone. We're here with Tara Metler and Heidi Drummond. And our next topic of conversation is how can you accelerate your wealth? So, hi guys, how are you?
Hello, doing good.
So let's start with how can we make our money work more efficiently? Let's start there. I think that's a good starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the first things that I talk about when I meet with a client is teaching them how to look at money in a new way, right? So we want to talk about efficiency and maintaining control. And those are really the two ways that are key to us being able to accelerate our wealth. We need both of those things. And so it really is a lot about a mindset, right? In looking for the right places to grow our money that give us that efficiency and control. And that's where contractual collateralized wealth really comes into play because it does achieve both of those things. And so basically, when we are doing that, that allows us to manage our money a lot more efficiently in order to be able to accomplish more than one thing. So if we can strategize when we're doing that efficiency and control, and we can stack our strategies, or we can have a game plan for them, that's when we can really start to see things happen, whether it's because we are having them in something that is giving us a higher fixed predictable return, or it's because it's something that's helping us to accrue and compound. That's really where some magic happens too. But lots of different ways that we can do. But the two big things are to maintain that efficiency and control over our money.
Yeah, I love that concept. Just to have, I mean, so many of us don't have control over that, right? We don't have control over our money, like you said, because people are following, those traditional vehicles that they're so used to using, and they're used to that, constant up and down, and there's no certainty. And I think the stress of it all, really plays on people. And fact that, right? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, like I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids in college. The first thing on my mind is, okay, I got to take care of them. And I also got to worry about who's going to take care of me later on. Right. So, I can't hope that my kids are going to take care of me. So you want to have that peace of mind that, okay, I have to take care of my kids and I have to worry about myself. So I want to know the best ways to be able to put my money to work for me that I'm working so hard for, right? And let's be honest, I don't want to work that hard anymore, right? I'm getting older. I want to work hard. I want to work smarter, not harder. So I want that to be the same concept with my money, right? I don't want to have to think about it so much. There's cryptocurrency out there. There's, the stock market. There's all these things that you have to constantly be on top of and watch. And I like the fact that there's other opportunities out there that we don't have to be so on top of, and it's still going to work for us.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I love that set it and forget it mentality. It's like when you can have something that is, because I mean, really, that's one of like the key fundamentals of money, right? Is to make money while you're sleeping. And to have multiple streams of income. We've heard those two different mantras you could say when it comes to money, but you have to have the right place in order to do that. And when you've got vehicles like contractual collateralized wealth opportunities, those allow you to set it and forget it, because it's in a type of vehicle that is going to give you that fixed, predictable return. And so that's a really great way to help alleviate some of that anxiety that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we all have enough anxiety in this, what's going on right now. We have enough anxiety. So the less that I can take off my plate, the better it is for me. And, I know nothing about the stock market, nor do I care to, right? That's not one of the ways that I like to, spread my wealth, as they say. That's not one of the things I like to. I don't like the roller coaster. I'm not a roller coaster person. I get sick up going up and down. So I don't like that. So I like the fact that, the concept that we're talking about, this collateralized wealth is, it's amazing to me, right? It's amazing that there are other opportunities that I didn't even know existed, right? Until I met you guys and I learned more about it. So Heidi, what were your experiences with this? I know you're part of this and you participate in these programs. What do you think is the most benefit to you, or what do you find that's the most beneficial for you?
Well, like Tara said, I like having the peace of mind, knowing that my money is safe and working. For me, it was just a few years ago that I really decided to sit down and figure out where all my money was, where I had been told to put my money. And I started looking at how much money I had coming in, how much money I would have coming in when I retired. I had no idea. And when I started digging into things and I saw how much I was being charged by people to manage my money, I'm like, wait a second, can't I manage my own money? And it was in this journey that I learned that, yes, I can take my 401k money and move it into a self-directed IRA, and then I can put it where I feel it's better serving me. And I'm very grateful that I discovered these and made these shifts before the stock market tanked recently. So I didn't use any of that money. I'm so grateful for that. And once I learned about these kind of vehicles, I just became passionate to share this with other people out there, because the saddest thing to me is for somebody to run out of money in retirement. Become a burden on their family. They might have to go back to work at 85. It's just so sad. And so I want to help. If I can just help one person have a better retirement and live the life they want and have enough money to get to and through retirement, I will have made a difference in the world. But I know there are a lot of other people out there that I can help. My passion is just to educate people on because most people don't know about them.
I agree with you 100%. This is a question I ask my clients, and when I ask this question, they literally look at me and scratch their head. I said, if you live to 100, what you're doing now, do you think you're going to have enough money to be able to live the retirement you want to live, like travel and do all the things you want to do? And I can probably say comfortably, like 85% of the people that I asked that question to look at me with like a deer in the headlights. Like,
one of the numbers I like to share with my clients is to get them thinking is that just to eat, say you live another 20 years in retirement, just to eat at $7 a meal 3 times a day for 20 years, for one person, you're going to need over $150,000 just to eat. And if you're a couple, you're going to need double that, over $300,000. And that just blows people out of the water because you just don't think about it, and then on top of that, you're going to add your housing expenses and your medical expenses. And then are you going to have enough money left over to live, have fun, enjoy your retirement? So yeah, that's a great question to ask them, because we are living longer. That's another thing people don't think about.
Yeah. It used to be, it used to be like 75, I believe. Now it's up to like 85, 80, and you see all these stories of people living to 100, 105. Like, if you think about it, you like, oh, I'm never going to live that long. You always have those people like, oh, I'm never going to do this. But you don't know. You don't know what life's going to bring. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Right. So you have to prepare yourself. You have to, think about those things. A lot of people just live for the moment. You can't always live in the moment. Right. You have to live.
One of the things I wanted to say, because you were talking about, taking care of your kids and taking care of yourself. I'm single and I have no children, but so I don't have anybody to take care of me when I get older and retired. So I really want to plan ahead. I didn't start saving right early on. And so these vehicles have given me a peace of mind to know that I'm going to be able to be okay and do more than just eat and have a shelter when I'm retired.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to get out there. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, I don't have enough money to even start, you really need to have a conversation with one of us, because we can show you how you can make this happen, even if you started saving late.
Yep.
Right. You know, and when we talk about what's going on in the world today too, you know, so we've got lots of volatility in the traditional marketplace, and then we've got inflation, we've got all these things. So what used to be an acceptable number now has to be reevaluated, you know? And so we might have gotten to a certain point in our financial journey where we're like, okay, I'm going to be okay, I've got enough. But then you've got a shift in the world on a financial level. And now that needs to be reevaluated. Now, do you have enough? Now, is it going to last as long as you thought it was going to? Are you going to be able to still have the lifestyle that you wanted to? And even if you're not to that point in your financial journey, maybe you're still in the beginning of it, that still is that much more time ahead of you in order to be able to accomplish those things, so that you are in a good position, not only financially, but mentally, you know, and to not have to have those worries weighing on you as you're getting older. So yeah, it really is about, you know, staying on top of what's going on, and also having a mind shift when it comes to how to grow money. What was traditionally done by our grandparents or parents just isn't enough anymore. It really isn't.
No, absolutely not. I mean, that mentality has gone out the window a long time ago. And, you know, I remember, you know, used to be able to put your money in the bank and get a decent interest rate, right?
Yep.
And now when we look at it, I mean, you guys can talk to this as well. I mean, you could put your money in the bank and they give you less than 0.5%. How are you going to save on retirement with putting money in the bank? So maybe you guys can talk to that about, you know, how the banks utilize your money and how maybe you can do that for yourself, right? I mean, how can we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's a really great a great subject, because they obviously have to put their money in things that are going to create a predictable return in order for them to not only pay the amounts that they do to us, but also for them to stay in business, to cover their overhead costs and things like that. And when it comes to banks, you know, they traditionally put their money into 4 different verticals: stock market, life insurance, real estate, and alternative assets. And that's where contractual collateralized wealth falls under, is alternative assets. And those are really where you can get those outsized returns. So when you think about it, it's already being done with your money, because if your money is in a bank, that bank is using your money in order to be able to do these things. And in payment of using your money, you're getting not even a whole number interest rate for the use of your funds. So why not, if it's already being done, why not take full advantage of it? And now you're in control of where your money is being utilized in that way, and you're getting the lion's share of it. And so really, it just comes down to, like we've said a number of times already, it's a matter of education. I oftentimes tell people that contractual collateralized wealth is like one of the biggest kept secrets in the financial industry, because it's something that is being done on a daily basis. It's likely being done with your money right now. You just don't know it. So if we can have the control and the access over that, access to those types of vehicles, how much better it can be for us.
100%. I think,
you know,
like it's so true.
Your money's already doing it. You're just not benefiting from it. You know, one of the responses I get when I try to educate people on these vehicles is they say it's too good to be true. And what I try to explain to them is that that's just because you don't understand them. Somebody that understands them is not going to say, oh, that's too good to be true when you talk about, you know, the interest you can earn, but they're going to say, oh my gosh, tell me more. You know, the vehicles that we're talking about are things that were once only available to the really super wealthy. And now they're available to people like you and me, and you can use your cash or your retirement money, you know, so it's just something that I know we're all passionate about getting the word out to everybody that there's something else that you can do. You're not at the mercy of the banks, and you're not at the mercy of the stock market.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to put it. And, you know, like you said, when I'm going to step back for a second, when you were talking about taking money out of your 401k and investing it somewhere else, and you saved yourself from those losses, you know, I was telling my clients that for the past year, you know, and it was like, oh, don't worry, it'll come back.
Well,
Oh, you know.
And just to clarify, I didn't take the money out of my 401k because that would be a distribution and that I would have to pay taxes on. What I did was I rolled it over into what is called a self-directed IRA. So then I could continue to grow that money in an investment that, or a vehicle that I chose, instead of whatever the stock market, you know, was going to do.
See, and that again goes down to education, right? So we educate people on it really does come down to education, right? So if I'm someone that doesn't know anything about this, they're going to think the same way I just thought, right? Oh, you take money out of your 401k and you're going to put it here. But there are ways to do it so you don't get those tax. So having professionals like you and Tara and, you know, myself to be able to educate people on these opportunities and how it all works is very, very important. You know, I'm one of those people that need to know everything from beginning to end, right? Before I do anything with my money. I know I need to do my research. I need to know, you know, from soup to nuts, what this is all about and how this would benefit me. And being able to do programs like this, where we're educating people on different opportunities out there, is so valuable. And I think this is, you know, one of the topics that I'm so passionate about, because, you know, when I did meet you guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, right? This is something I got to learn more about. And over the time that I've, you know, from the beginning when I met you, I've just embraced the fact that this is great. Like, I love this, right? This is going to help me in my retirement. I'm so excited about it because, you know what? I lose less sleep at night now, right? I lose a little less sleep because, you know what? Now I know that my money is actually working for me. And the fact that, you know, it's not in my 401k or my life insurance or, you know, an IRA or whatever, you know, whatever there is out there, it's actually working. I have control over it. The fact that I have control over my money is very exciting to me, right? That I'm the boss, right? Yeah. I'm not the bank. I am the boss of my money, right? And that's how it should be for everybody. You need to be the boss of your money.
Right. You know, and to kind of go into a little bit further on the types of strategies that can help a person to accelerate their wealth, really it's about properly leveraging oneself, you know, so it's about utilizing these types of vehicles and leveraging the assets that we have in order to accomplish more. That's how we're efficient with our money, right? It's a matter of giving our dollars more than one job. Because traditionally, what we've been taught and what we've been conditioned to do is to save up our money, right? We save up our money and then we save it for, let's say, a down payment on a house, or we're going to buy a car, or we're going to go on a trip, or we're going to get ourselves out of debt. Well, what happens? We've saved up that money and then we've traded it away for something else. Now, we might have an asset that we have in our possession now, but is that asset liquid? Do we have access to it, or is it locked away now? Or maybe we've spent it on getting ourselves out of debt or a trip or something like that. Well, now we don't have the money any longer, and we don't have an asset to take its place. So we're constantly in this cycle of gain and loss, gain and loss, gain and loss. And so we can never get ahead. So how much better can it be if we can utilize something like this, where our money is protected and working for us, and now it's generating such interest that we're able to take the interest, put the down payment on the house, purchase the car, go on the trip, pay down our debt. So now we have accomplished something, and we still have that money continuously working for us, generating more and more for us. That's really when the magic of accelerating our wealth happens, because we haven't given up control of that dollar or what that dollar could bring us. I talk to my clients a lot about lost opportunity cost, you know, and basically what that is when you're spending money, what are you losing out on that dollar could have achieved for you in the future, right? Not saying that you can't ever spend money, because obviously that's not practical or pragmatic. But if we can have that dollar working for us efficiently in a vehicle, or maybe we can even leverage it to the fact where we've got it working for us in multiple vehicles. Well, now we're starting to stack those strategies together. Now we're really starting to make some headway on something. And so that's why, like I said before, I oftentimes talk about having a mind shift. We need to think like the wealthy do, like the hyper wealthy do. They're protecting their principal. They're not spending the seed, you could say. They're spending the harvest of what that seed can bring. And so when we can get ourselves to the point where we're protecting our liquid cash, our assets, what have you, and we're able to then get ourselves to the point where we're able to generate enough where that can ultimately replace our active income, would be great, right? If we can have it generating so much passive income that it's replacing our active income, that's when we're really starting to see that acceleration start to happen. And it all starts somewhere. We have to start at some point in our journey.
That's right. And, and like I said, is that, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So, we talk about, saving and having liquidity, but what if something happens tomorrow that changes that whole dynamic of what you've been trying to do, or, something where you're going to need money, or you need access to your, funds, having these vehicles where you're able to get money from that and having liquidity is so important. Having your money tied up for years and years and years is not an efficient way to, use your money. And I like the fact that, we do have that access, and, we do have the ability to, the best part about all this is that we have control, right? We have control of the money, right? And that's what I love about it. But I want to thank you guys so much again for coming on. This has been a great conversation. And if anybody wants to get educated, please reach out to us. You can reach me at 973-919-9949, or you can check out our website at www.moneymultiplierpro.com. Okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm here with Tara Metler and Heidi Drummond. And our next topic of conversation are the different strategies and options that we can utilize to grow our wealth. So we're just going to have, we talked a little bit about, contractual wealth, and we talked about how to accelerate that wealth. Well, what are some of the strategies and options that we can utilize in order to get on the path to this accelerated wealth, right? Or changing our views or changing our thought process of how we save for retirement?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I want to preface it by saying that it is not a one size fits all approach, right? It's something that's very individualized based on your needs, your goals, where you're currently at, what type of strategy you currently have in place, and how well it's serving you or not. All of that is something that, we talk about with a potential client who's in their process of educating themselves on contractual wealth opportunities. And in a discovery call, those are all the topics that we talk about, right? And so really, once we have that conversation with a client, it becomes very easy then to start to identify where maybe their current strategy is lacking, or where maybe there's no strategy at all. People come from all different walks of life, have had multiple different experiences in life, and it affects us all different financially. And that's the wonderful thing about contractual wealth opportunities, is that there's lots of room and flexibility to help, but depending on what your need or your goal is. So when we talk about different options and different strategies, maybe you're the type of person who's looking to grow your passive income. You're just looking to supplement what you have coming in now. Maybe you're the kind of person who doesn't need the cash right now, but is looking forward and is wanting to make sure that there's enough for retirement. These vehicles are very flexible in that they can oftentimes take cash savings, or, like we've talked about before, retirement dollars. And so it's something that can grow your savings, your liquid savings, or it can grow your retirement savings. Also, it's something that can be used, like I said, for immediate needs, because there's varying degrees of how do I want to say, there's cash flow opportunities or options that are available. So if somebody's looking for monthly or quarterly cash flow, there's options for that. But then there's also options where somebody who's like, I don't need the money now, I just want to maximize the growth that I can get in it. There's accrual and compounding options. And terms, can vary as well, from very, very short term, like in 3 months, to a little bit more of a mid to long term strategy. So it all depends on what a client needs, and a very individualized approach.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important. And like you said, and I agree with you 100%. When you're talking to someone, you need to, everybody's different. There's not a one size fits all. And you're right. Everybody's at different stages in their lives. Everybody has saved differently. Everybody has lost differently. So it's so important to get a whole financial look at what you're doing currently. And that includes, owning a home, or, having assets, and where your money's being saved, and, what you have going on. You have kids, you have protection for your family. There's so many things that are so many scenarios that can be brought up when we're talking to a client, that it's important to get that overall picture. And you, as an individual, should know where you are financially, right? So many people just, like you said, set it and leave it, right? They don't even think about it, right? They're not thinking about, okay, well, every week they're taking $100 out of my paycheck and it's going to this 401k, and I never look at it, or it's going towards my life, and they just never take a look at it. Right. And then especially when things like this happen, where the market's down and that people are losing, they don't even want to look at it because they're afraid to look at it. Right. I mean, I had so many clients are like, I can't even look at my statement right now. Like, I can't.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I want to support, all of our listeners, in that if you feel like having that conversation would be hard or too tough or embarrassing, please don't think of it that way. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to educate yourself, to take control, to feel empowered about what your money can do, and ultimately to be excited. Why should we allow ourselves to be feeling anxious? Why should we allow ourselves to lose sleep over these kinds of things? There are ways to reduce, if not eliminate, that kind of anxiety. So I really strongly encourage everybody who's listening to at least have the conversation. I can't tell you how many times, even just in this last week or two alone, how many of the people that I've met with have said, oh man, this was really beneficial. I hadn't given my finances this much thought in a really long time. They actually were very appreciative because it opened their eyes to what they currently had in place. And then when they learned about the types of contractual wealth opportunities that were available and how it could enhance their current strategy, or replace a strategy that they weren't happy with, or even just have something completely new in the equation to diversify even further, just the excitement that they have over it. So if there's any piece of advice that I can give, it is to make sure that you don't allow any kind of negative feelings that you might have about your current strategy to stop you or prevent you from having the conversation. We all, I can probably speak for all of us, say that the education is more important for us to give that to you, to give you that education, than anything, because when you're educated, you're empowered. And that to me is the one thing that I'm most passionate about when it comes to my clients. Even if they decide, nope, it's not for me, at least now they're an educated consumer about their money. They know the options that are out there. And it's something that they can come back to at a different time when the time is right for them.
100%. And, it's so true that, people do have, those anxieties about talking to people, and they feel like, oh, I'm doing the right thing. And they don't even know that they're not doing the right thing. They don't even realize that they're not on that right path. I mean, I can't tell you how many clients don't even have life insurance, don't have any retirement, don't have any savings for college, have never even thought about it. Right. And if something happens where I tell you, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, and now you're leaving your family with nothing. It's all about education, right? It's all about making sure that you're in the right place. And that conversation could happen at 20 years old. It can happen at 70 years old. It doesn't matter, right? It's a conversation that needs to be had. And it's a conversation to have with people that have a great understanding, like you guys, about those different opportunities out there. And I think that the amazing part about this is that there are other opportunities, right? We're not stuck in the ages back when, we put money in a bank account and CDs and all these things that we used to do that really aren't, a great vehicles anymore, right? Life has changed, things have changed. And, I appreciate the fact that, we do have these conversations where we're learning about other opportunities out there. I mean, Heidi, I know you can speak to this. I mean, you've told us your stories and of how it's helped you. And I think that, having a conversation with us is going to help you, help everyone else as well.
Yeah, like Tara said, it's a very individual situation. We don't have a one size fits all. What I like to tell my clients is that we're going to figure out your financial GPS. We're going to figure out where you are, where you want to go, and then strategize on how to get you there. Look at the different things that are available to you that you may not have known about. It's truly about educating, because most people are of the mindset, put your money in a 401k and pay off your mortgage. And that is just so limiting. One of the things I talk to them about is you pay off your mortgage and then you've got an asset worth $500,000 sitting there that you can't reach into the wall and pull money out when you need it. But if there were a vehicle that could give you a rate of return that's higher than an interest rate you would get if you borrowed money against your house, maybe that's something you want to think about. Yeah, that's what I did. And one of the things that Tara, because I was a client of Tara's before I became a strategist myself. And so we went through this whole process for myself, and my eyes were opened, and so grateful that I had somebody to guide me, because like Tara said, a lot of people are afraid or ashamed. I was very embarrassed that I hadn't started saving as early as a lot of people have, so please, you owe it to yourself. One of the things I tell people is, they say what you don't know can't hurt you, but what you don't know about your money can cost you dearly.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I want to leave people with, is just, take the time to invest the time in yourself to learn more about this, because what you don't know can cost you dearly.
And like you said, when you're taking loans against your money and you're paying interest to a bank, or you're paying interest to, you're losing money, taking money out of your 401k, and you have to be smart about how you use your money, right? You want to have that liquidity, you want to have that ability to have access to your money and not have to borrow it from somewhere, borrow from your house. So you're taking a second mortgage on your house and you're paying, more interest. That's costing you more money, which is again depleting your retirement. So, I love the fact that, again, like I said, I'm just going to say it again, because I think it's amazing that we do have these opportunities. And I'm so thankful that we had you guys on the call today, because we got some great information. And I know that people are going to be interested in learning more about this. So again, I want to thank Heidi, and I want to thank Tara for coming on and sharing this valuable information. And I know that, if you want to get more and learn more and get educated yourself, please reach out to us. Our number is 973-919-9949. And you can check out our website at www.moneymultiplierpro.com. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I want to thank everyone for joining today, and have a great day.
Thanks for having us.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.